Okay, so let's start standing on the mat. We're going to do a nice warm-up. So let's start with our feet hip width apart. And the first thing I want you to do is lift your toes up off the mat, spread them wide, and press the pads of the toes into the floor. And I want you to do that a couple times just to really feel the soles of the feet in the mat, feel the arches lift, get a bit of sensation in the bottom of the feet. And then you're going to bend and stretch those knees. And it's literally, it's like kind of flinging, as if you kind of had water on the end of your hand, and you're just flinging it off. We want to make sure that we feel relaxed. We feel nice and loose. From there, you're going to keep your knees soft, put your hands on your hips, and start to rock that pelvis forward and back. Remember, we want to do it really exaggerated to start. And then we gradually make it smaller and smaller until you find your neutral pelvis, which is a little bit different for everyone, okay? I then want you to envision your 3 circles, your hips, your ribs, your shoulders, and your collarbone, and they all float one on top of the other. And then relax the hands down. Close your eyes and take a couple nice deep breaths in through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Now, as we inhale, I want you to imagine lengthening and growing tall through the spine. And then as you exhale, I want you to imagine that that waist narrows and the abdominals gently contract. We breathe in, everything swings open. Exhale, we feel that lovely engagement through our abdominals. You're going to give me one more here. Big breath in, send that breath right into the bottom and side of the lungs. And then exhale, just consciously imagine those abdominals drawing into the center. We're then going to open the eyes and then just gently turn the head from right to left. So we've not got any stress, any tension on that neck. We just let it float from side to side. Okay. You're going to finish your last one on your left and bring the head to center. We're going to nod our right ear to our right shoulder. You're going to take your right hand, place it just above the head. Now, don't pull on the neck. Just let the weight of the hand stretch the neck. And I want you to consciously think of pulling your opposite shoulder blade down. Just hold it a nice deep breath. A nice exhale. The hand comes off and the head floats back up. We do the other side. Left ear to left shoulder. Left hand on top of the head. Now, without pulling, just the weight of the arm stretches and consciously engage to pull that opposite shoulder blade down. So if you're trying to touch your fingertips to the floor, hold it an extra second. Hand comes off, head floats up. From there, we lift our shoulders up by our ears and then big exhale, drop them down the back. And this wants to be like, let everything go. It's heavy. Really, really nice. Lifting up and dropping down. 3 more, lift and drop. 2. Last one and drop. From there, 3 shoulder rolls backward. So we go 3 and 2 and 1. We then take our hands onto the shoulders and we roll the elbows backwards 3 times. 3. We want to think of opening the chest. 2. Growing tall through the spine. 1. We then let go of the shoulders. 3 massive arm circles, trying to touch the ceiling, the sides of the room and back. And you can lift your chest and your breastbone at the same time. Last one here. And then we're going to finish with those hands all the way up to the ceiling. You're going to give me those side reaches. So you're going to touch the ceiling with the right hand, touch the ceiling with the left hand. And it's literally as if someone's pulling you up by your wrist and you feel that elongation from hip all the way up to your fingertips. Okay, you can do a gentle little lean, that's okay. And this is just a nice way to open up through the sides of the body. You were going to finish your last one on the left and then interlace the fingers and take your hands behind your head. Now I want you to imagine you are lifting your head up out of its neck and shoulders. Hips stay square to the front. We rotate those ribs to the right. We come back through center. And then we rotate our ribs to the left and center. So remembering that we want to stay tall, we want to keep this lovely posture, and every time we do a rotation, we want to think of lifting up and then rotating, right? So we've got a lift and a twist, so we find length in the spine. You're going to give me one more in each direction. Good. We're then going to come, bring our hands down by our side, and we're going to go into a nice hip hinge. So from there, we're going to turn to the side for me just so I can get a nice side view. We've got our feet comfortable distance apart, knees comfortably soft. You're going to push the hips back, keeping the spine straight, reach the arms forward, and then you're going to stand up nice and tall. So it's all about pressing the hips back, elongating the waist and the spine, and then standing up tall. And everyone is going to give me 8 more of those. So we're going to come into that beautiful hip hinge and then standing up tall. Good. And 7 more. Reach through the fingertips, shoulders away from the ears, spine is long and up. Good. So when we lead this movement, it comes from our hips. So it's literally, imagine someone had hold of their hips, they pulled you backwards, keeping that spine straight, right? And this is the most important movement, right? We want to be adopting this movement as much as we can in our daily life. When we pick up something heavy, when we've got to repeatedly bend down, we want to try and really get comfortable with this hinge. Everyone's going to give me 2 more here. Beautiful. Last one, easy peasy. Good. And then we do the same movement, but this time we bend our knees. So we come into a nice squat. So you bend the knees and hinge the hips at the same time. You go as low as you can go, and then you stand up nice and tall. And we go again, bending those knees this time. So squat and a hinge, the same family, same movement. That's it, guys. Good. And this is what we want to encourage as well, right? We want to encourage you to bend those knees, press those hips back. Yeah. Be mindful, try and keep those chests up, especially as the knees bend and we hinge. What tends to happen is we tend to drop. I want you to think of lifting your chest up so you've always got that eye line forward. That helps to keep that upper back nice and lifted. Everyone's going to give me 3 more there. Good. And 2. Beautiful. Last one. Good. Okay. From there, hands go onto those hips. You're going to give me 4 isolated hip circles. So just really moving through those hips. Trying not to move through the body, right? Or move as one piece. Try and isolate it into that hip. So we really warm up that pelvis. You're then going to do the same thing in the other direction. Because we want to make sure when we're moving, we mobilize through all these joints, right? Through our hip joints, through our shoulder joints, right? So once you finish 4 in each direction, walk the feet right underneath the hips, and you're going to just give me 10 basic heel raises. So rising up onto the tiptoes, lowering down onto the heels, lift and lower, lift and lower, keeping that spine straight. And I want you to think of being as tall as you possibly can. Particularly think of lengthening up through the back of the neck. Everyone's going to give me 4 and 3, 2. Last one, we're going to finish with our heels in the air. From there, you're going to keep the heels off. And then you're going to bend the knees, go as low as you can go whilst keeping your balance. And then stand up nice and tall. And then lower those heels back down. And we're going to do 4 more. You're going to lift the heels. You're going to bend the knees, keeping the spine straight, chest lifted. Press the floor away. And then lower those heels back down. 3 more. We lift. We bend the knees, spine is straight, waist is long. We push the floor away, keeping the heels off and our balance. We lower. Last 2, heels up. Bend those knees, lower down towards that mat. That's it. Push that floor away, then lower those heels. Last one here, we rise up. We come into that lovely squat. That's it. We push the floor away, keeping that balance. And then we lower. Nice, guys. Okay. Hopefully legs are nice and warm. Let's grab hold of our weights. Okay. So we are going to do a series of 4 exercises, maybe 5, I'll squeeze one out, but we're going to be working our chest and our back, right? So predominantly when we're talking about lots of upper body work, You know, we do focus on arms, we focus on shoulders, but your chest and your back play such an important part in your posture. Because it's quite common to feel tight, right? You know, when we get this forward rounded posture, to feel very tight across the chest. So you need to be able to mobilize it, so strengthen it, stretch it, but also it needs to be strong, right? If the muscle's weak, it's going to feel tight. So we want it to be strong. And our opposing muscles, obviously our back muscles, which we know, stronger our back muscles are, the more we support that spine. So the first movement we're going to do, and you're going to come into a little Pilates V for me, just so we get a little bit of work into our glutes as well. So heels together, toes apart, little 50-pound note between your butt cheeks. You're going to round your arms, okay, and bring the hands together. So you kind of make it like a circle with your arms. You're then going to keep that position and you're going to lift those arms up. That's it. Now, quite often, and I'll turn to the side, can you see? I've got quite a lot of space. Can you see? As if I was trying to hug someone. That's it. From there, you want to think of the shoulders being relaxed, the elbows slightly lifted. You're then going to open those arms nice and wide to the side. So if you're really happy to see someone, and then you're going to give them a big hug, right? We call it hug a tree because it creates that shape that we want. Now, quite often when people do this, they love to want to round the back. So I want you to really think of opening wide. Now, keeping that width in the chest and the shoulders as you close. That's it. Open and close. That's it. Now, we're going to be doing quite a lot of repetitions here. So what often will happen is the elbows love to get tired, right? The shoulder doesn't have to work as hard then. So I want you to keep that little lift in that elbow. We're going to do 4 more here. We go 4. Good. And you're probably going to feel a nice burning through the arm, which is endurance. Last 2. Good. Last 1. Really nice. From there, I want you to lower the arms all the way down, and you're going to have them about hip height, palms facing the front, and the elbows are pointing to the back of the room. So we call this one serving because we reach our hands forward, and then we pull the elbows and we come back. So it's like you had a big tray of something really nice. You're going to give it to someone and then, oh, change your mind, pull it back. Yeah. So this again is working into the front of that arm and into the shoulder. And the aim is that our posture through this position is really tall. Our 3 circles are stacked. We're lifting our head, neck, and shoulders up towards the ceiling the whole time. That's it, guys. 5 more here. We go 5. Good. Nice and controlled. 4. And in. Good work. We go 3. Lovely. Last 2. Good. Last 1. You're going to finish with those hands back in line with those hips. So from there, we're going to make a little circle. So I want you to reach the arms forward into your serving. From there, I want you to rotate the palms downwards and then lift the weight all the way up into the air. And then press the weights down, press the shoulders down, bend the elbows so we come back to that position. And we go again. We reach the arm forward. We rotate the palm down, we lift the arms all the way up to the ceiling, and then we circle the hands back to the start position, okay? 3 more. We reach forward, we flip or rotate the arm, we lift up towards the ceiling, and now press down hands and shoulders, soft arms. Last 2, we reach forward. We flip down, our arms reach for the ceiling, long spine as we press those hands down. Beautiful. Last one here, guys. We reach forward, rotate the palms, lift those arms up. This time I want you to finish with those arms in a T position. And you're going to give me 5 circles forward. We go 5 and 4 and 3, coming from the upper arm. 2 and 1, reversing. Now here's the tricky part, right? Use those core muscles to keep that body still. Try not to wiggle around. You've got your last one here. You're going to hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower back down. Very, very nice. Okay, give those arms a little wiggle. Now let's do a little bit of focus into our back muscles. So this time we're going to make the same position that we made for our hugger tree. So we're going to have that position, but we're going to be in a hip hinge. So my knees are bent, pressing my hips back, and I've got my arms forward, okay, in that position. Now this time, as I open my arms, I'm going to point my thumbs towards the back of the room, and I'm going to squeeze my shoulder blades together. So can you see the angle of my thumb? I rotate my arms backwards, I squeeze, 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 and then I bring my hands back down. So it's open, and then you rotate, you squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then you come back, right? So you kind of almost make like a sort of W shape. That's it. And back. Now this one is important because we really want to get into those mid-back muscles. So I'm going to come and have a little look. That's it. Nice, guys. Keep a little soft bend in the elbow, right? So it is literally like, and if kind of you were giving a thumbs up, like you're going to hitchhike to the back of the room, but you notice I've got my elbow slightly bent. As soon as I straighten that arm, I kind of lose that work. So we want to really squeeze in between. Everyone's going to give me about 4 more here. That's it. So we open. That's it. Squeeze those shoulder blades together and back. That's it. Nice, ladies. And squeeze, 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 squeeze. That's it. Good. Anita, just keep the elbows bent a little bit more for me. So the angle is here. So do you see my arm is bent slightly, and my arm is about there. And really it's less about the arm and more about that shoulder connection. Can you guys feel it? Give me like a nod if you can feel it between your shoulder blades. Yeah, literally bang in the mid back. Usually is where we want to be feeling it. So you're going to finish your last one here. Oh, and then you can stand. Give your hips a little wiggle. We've got one more exercise here, but actually we're going to do our final back exercise on the mat. So bring your weights down with you. We're going to make our way onto all fours. Now I'll bring you with me. I bring my camera down. Okay, so we're going to be on all fours. And we're going to just have one weight in our left hand to begin with. So we've got knees underneath hips, wrists underneath shoulders, and you've got one weight in your left arm, okay? Now I want you to think of drawing the abdominals up for support. You're going to bend the elbow, and you're going to squeeze it in really, really tight to the rib cage, and then you're going to release the weight back down. So what we want to do is think of the elbow sweeping backwards and up. So it stays very, very close to the arm. And we want to feel this connection. We want to feel these muscles down the side of the back and underneath the arm. Okay? Really nice. And we're going to do about 8 more of these. Now, this is usually an exercise that you can afford to lift a little bit heavier. And particularly like, this is a good time to kind of practice the movements. But when you're, you know, at home on your own, if you want to have a play, this is a very supportive movement. We're on all fours, right? We're really stable. If you want to lift a little bit heavy, especially because we're using our back muscles, huge, huge muscles, right? Good. I call this like pulling the chainsaw, right? That's the kind of move we want. You kind of pull it in and back. You're going to give me your last ones here, and I want you to hold it up, and I want you to kind of squeeze it into your side for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1, and then release and come down. Good. Switching side. So we're going to do exactly the same thing on the other side, ladies. Really nice work. So remember to push the mat away with your supporting leg. Pull. Supporting leg, supporting arm, pull the way up and back. Squeeze it for a second and then release back down. That's it, guys. You want to think of keeping those shoulders and those hips square to the mat. But don't forget about that posture. It's easy to let that head drop down. Eyes should kind of look at the top of your mat. That's a really good kind of little focal point, because it just helps to keep that spine in line. It might be a little bit lower. Find a little point that enables you to keep that lovely long line. through that back. Everyone's going to give me about 4 more here. Good, nice. And lift, and I want real control as we come down, right? Last 2. That's it. Last 1. Very nice, guys. You can pop that weight down. Sit back into little child's pose if that feels good. Remember, modified child's pose if you're not comfortable. Back there is that long spine. So the bum is in the air, the chest drops down to keep, and you can rest your forehead on the mat. Just take a couple of nice deep breaths there. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Just allow that back to open. And then from there, we're going to make our way onto our front. So, coming and lying on your front. We couldn't do a posture class if we didn't focus on our extension. So legs will be a comfortable distance apart. Your elbows will be bent, but I would like for you to have your hands directly underneath your shoulders, which will mean your elbows will be up off the floor, okay? So what I would like for you to do is squeeze the shoulder blades together, and now the sensation is that as your chest lifts, you press your elbows down. So the elbows reach down, the chest, yes, nice, Rachel, that was it, and back. So the reason that I say shoulder blades together first and then elbows down, we think of the elbows pressing down, it drops the shoulder blade, and it helps, it gives us space to lift our breastbone up, okay? So I want you guys to do a couple of these. I'm going to come and have a little look. That's it. So we've got shoulder blades together, elbows down, chest up, hold, and release. Good. Lovely, guys. Everyone's extensions are looking really nice. Does everyone feel like confident with them? Yeah? And everyone's working so hard, so you can just nod your head or smile or give me a wink or something, you know. Good, because these exercises are so important, right? They are, if you envision the spine, these lovely muscles that run down the side of the spine from top to bottom are spinal extensors, okay? So important. The more we can strengthen these, the more we can fortify our spine, which helps us lower that fracture risk, right? So on your next one, we're going to do the same thing, shoulder blades together, press the elbows down. I want you to keep your height in your chest. See if you can float your hands away from the mat. See if you can hold it there. Back of the neck is long. Then hands go down first, and then chest goes down. So really work on isolating the movement. Shoulder blades together, elbows down, chest up, arms off, hold. Hold, hands down, chest down, okay? So that's important, right? We don't want to rush through those movements, yeah? There is so much strength to be built in that eccentric phase. So in that, the pulling part or the pushing part or the lifting part is important, but actually that controlling out of the movement is equally important, right? It helps us to develop that strength. So you guys are going to give me your last one here, and then we're going to just release the back a little bit before we move on to our next one. So I want you to make a little pillow for your forehead with your hands, and then just bend the knees and drop your feet from right to left. So this is just to loosen the back, okay? Just find a little bit of release, okay? Just nice and gentle. So once you've done that a couple of times, you felt a little bit of release through your lumbar, you're going to straighten those legs back out, and you're going to keep that little pillow for your forehead. So this is called a diamond press, because the first thing I would like for you to do is lift your chest up off the mat, okay? And obviously we're making a kind of diamond shape with our arms. From there, whichever hand you have on top, I want you to lift the arm, including the elbow, up to the forehead, as if you're going to give a salute, and then you're going to lower everything down to the mat. And then we start again. So we go chest, we salute, Lifting the elbow high, we hold, we release, and come back down. And you're going to give me 3 more on this side, okay? Now, this is a really, really great one because not only does it mean you have to work that chest, but it's also having to work up into that upper back and shoulder, right? And down. Good. I think you guys got 2 more here. Good. Don't rush. Let me be able to take a picture of each movement as you go. That's it. Good. Okay. So once everyone finishes this repetition, I would like for you to switch hands. So change your hands over. Same thing. So we lift the chest. The arm comes to the forehead. Now keep that arm there as you lower all the way down. That's it, gang. Chest up. Salute. Lower with the hand still on the forehead. That's it. 3 more. Lift. Salute and lower. Good. Last 2. Good, guys. Last one. Very, very nice. And down. Okay. Now, if you feel that you can do it with no hands comfortably, then we're going to give that a go. If you don't, I want you to just stick with your one arm. Okay, last exercise. We're just going to do 3 reps of these. So I would like for you to lift your chest off the mat the same way we did before. First arm is going to come to the forehead. Now keep the height as your second arm comes to the forehead. You hold, and then you release back down. That's it. 2 more there. Chest comes up. First arm. Second arm. Keep that height in that breastbone and then down. That's it, guys. Really nice. This is really challenging. Last one. Chest. 1 arm at a time. Hold that position. Come all the way down. From there, roll onto your backs, guys. Hug your knees into your chest. And give that lower back a little release. Very, very nice. So, important little takeaways from today. This week, easy homework. If you find yourself, just kind of pay attention, try and draw a little bit of attention to how you're sitting, how you're standing. Can you take a moment and think, oh, actually, I've got a bit of banana back. I mean, I do it too. You know, I sit at my laptop, you know, like this. Can you take a moment where you can stop, you can breathe, you can just lengthen through the back? Maybe do those little side reaches that we've done. Maybe do a gentle rotation, because it is important to keep that spine mobile, yeah? And you guys are all done for bank holiday. Hopefully you feel a little bit looser than you were before. Love it, Miranda. Good, gang. Anita, didn't say hi before. And yeah, everyone just have a wonderful week, and I will see you all next Monday.
Thanks,
Thank
Gemma.
you. Thank you.
So much.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.